We all go a little mad.
Forget you.
You are under Dahli.
Here's Johnny.
All right. Hello, and welcome to the Horror Hour, the place where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things for this episode, Dragula. And I'm one of your co-hosts, Yutaka. Hello. And I'm joined by my favorite, Liam.
Hi.
And I'm really super excited. We have season 3 contestant, also a St. Louis native, the incredible Maxi Glamour.
Hello.
Super excited. And so we are going to go over episode 4, right? Yes, 4. Goodness.
Yes.
I think we just talked about this. Monsters of Rock episode. And we're going to go over the looks. We're also then going to talk about the floor show and then just give our thoughts on the highs, the lows, and then also talk about the elimination or extermination challenge, which I also can't wait to talk to Maxie's about their initial one that probably still gives me like I mad respect for Maxi doing that. I remember. Oh,
Me too.
All right. So then first up, we had La Zavaleta, who we got to chat with as well beforehand, and they are an absolute delight. So what did everyone think about their look?
I thought it was cool. Like, they were a Mexican Revolution fighter. I think that they really have grown on me at this competition, like just who they are as a person. They're really having like this character development of like being like spicy and sweet at the same time. Kind of like, the mangoes covered in chili powder.
I love that.
And I'm just really enjoying her this season.
I really, after also speaking with them and just seeing how they want to bring their culture into their art, I fucking love that, because if anything, there needs to be more representation in general for everyone. And so to see that that's a big, was it fueling or like a big inspiration to them.
Yeah,
I love seeing that. And so seeing that in their drag is just, and I really loved their look this episode.
Yeah. I try to think if
You think about their first or their first look or their second look?
I prefer the first look. Yeah.
Got some of that time out there as you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their solo look. I don't know about their group look per se. No.
The group look I thought went I think it went well with everyone in that band, but if I were to look at it individually, I was not as much as a fan as I was the first look. The second look felt very rushed. I could be wrong, but I loved when the Boulets called it out where it was kind of like, rocking out with your cock out in a sense.
Yeah.
I loved that.
And then they zoom in on their dick, and I was just like, I just love genitals coming out on stage. I think it's just, don't hide. Come on.
Yeah.
Show yourself.
It was very trying to think of the word.
Battle of the
It was appropriate to call it out though. Like just a tiny little spaghetti strap.
I loved it. And they went with it and they just had fun with their performance. And so I really liked that one. Definitely the first look though, more than the second look. The next person we have up is Dahli. I'm just a fan of Dahli, so. But I did love both looks. You got like the demon there's just so many different vibes I was getting from I loved how both looks were, to me, very different. And I just, when Rachel True's like, I wanted you to slit my throat, I was like, yeah. I was feeling that.
Yeah, that sounds like something you would definitely say. But yeah, no, again, loved the look. Both looks this time, I thought both looks were like equally matched as well. There wasn't one that was weaker than the other, so I appreciated that.
Yeah, I think Dahli is just like really conceptual, and they really have had a long time to like let their drag fester in like a good sense, and like they really have like a sure, definite like idea of who they are and how they want to represent themselves, and it's all pretty cohesive. And I don't think I'm fit to like critique them on any negative things that they do.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. No, I mean, none of, well, we're definitely not Liam and Ira, but
I was gonna say we can't critique anyone. we sit here and we just say whether we like it or not.
true. But I really did. I loved it. And the performance, I mean, that performance, like the lip sync part, oh my God, that was disgusting. That was, I mean, well, we'll talk about Zenith in a bit, but I mean, damn.
They were no slag, but they were good.
That's true.
Who's next?
Oh, it's I'm biased. It's my favorite, Hoso Terra Toma. Or no, did it again. It's Bitter Betty, but I also still did enjoy this look. Just judging from the look, I enjoyed the 80s glam rock that I was getting, and
yeah,
I mean, I'm liking them on the show, let me put it that way, but we, aside from everything else, I'll just go with that. But Bitter Betty's looks were, I enjoyed them tonight. I think I liked the first one a lot more than the second one, although I liked that they wanted to really like glam up, even though I feel like in some of their looks they've kind of already done that a little bit. So I was like, just go with it. But that's just me.
Nothing bad to say. I'm old. I love a reference. I love the 80s. I was fully invested.
I liked her bulge. It was quite visible, and like the outfit was made for it. And, like it was very like in your face, like Tranimal kind of. I really like that. I don't think she would be offended if I described her as such in that outfit. Like, I think it's really cool. I think, she's a loudmouth old, like, trans woman that lived a like particular life, and she definitely creates conflict. Yeah, I like her. I like the looks. They're cute.
She's learning. But yes, yeah. I really liked the looks, and I like that they're becoming more assured of themselves, because I think in the beginning she was really just doubting herself completely. And her performance I thought was great, and they even called that out when she was just rolling around on the floor. Go for it.
Yeah. I also appreciated her saying she didn't think she would get back up, because it was like I also wouldn't have been able to get back up. So the thumbs up from me.
That's a sad reality though. Like, like drag performers, you don't get health insurance. And so like there's gonna be a point when you can't get back up from doing those dips and drops.
I don't know how you all do it. You guys put your body through hell.
I know. I'm dying every minute.
I just like, I can feel the pain.
Lower back, my neck, my crack's fine though.
Winning then.
Speaking of fine cracks, is your favorite next?
It is. Oh my gosh, it is. This time I do that almost, well, not every time, but it's Hoso Terra Toma. I am just in absolute love. And I love the dainty in the beginning with the performance and taking off the glasses and then just becoming an animal. And I love their makeup every time.
And they're so sweet on the show and seemingly authentic. I think a lot of the contestants, it, you know, it's some of the things, it seems as though they were prompted, and like some people have things to say just because it'll get them airtime. And I feel like when Host comes out, it's like Host is talking, and like it's like not just words, that's like meaning. And I think it's cute and like transparent. I don't know. I'm in love.
I completely agree. I don't think there's ever been a moment that Hoso's actually been on to where it felt that honestly, they just seem like they come from a place of love. They never have been, wanting to start anything, or I mean, I think they just want everybody to win, although they want to win. But I feel like that Hoso's just such a nice person. Just interacting with them on Twitter and just seeing how they interact with their fans.
And they're
Seems like
authentic.
Yeah, which is really, it's really nice to see. And it's nice to see someone who's authentically nice succeed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because quite a lot of the time when you have these people that are nice and want everyone to win and are very congenial about everything, but just like that's because that's their personality, usually you find that they're the ones that don't get to succeed as much as everyone else. So it's nice to see someone like take off with that personality, and it's appreciated to as a viewer. And also the looks were just amazing.
I love both of them. I mean, they did, the other thing too is I think both their first and second look was really cohesive. I think they had a clear idea of where they wanted to go, and it worked for them. So I really enjoyed it. This next person, I also really enjoyed their look. That's Sigourney Beaver. That whole, I was getting Kiss vibes with Marie Antoinette, and it was just so like their makeup, it just seems like flawless at a point, just with the fan work and the presentation, but also just the fit, the look. I was in love.
Yeah, same. It was head to toe. It was a look, but there was also as you said, there was the presentation. Everything was flawless. It wasn't just a flawless look and someone trying to model it. They fully knew what to do as soon as they stepped on the stage, which was just amazing to see. Like, every week, just perfection.
I wasn't as huge a fan of the second look, though.
I mean, the second look was a group thing, so I'm not going to fully.
You can't say that when
accountable because she still looked good.
Yes, yeah,
and it went with the group challenge. It just wasn't as high a standard as what we used to see from her.
Sure, I was still thinking of like the first group when they were also their look was like their look. Obviously, when we talk about the bands, but I think all theirs gelled well, whereas I think obviously this one didn't. So even though it was good, it certainly stood out. But I still love, I love Sigourney.
I was like a punk rock joker, and I appreciated it.
I think it was just, I just think that the altercations and like the way that she led the group kind of created like a distraction for me from like her looks itself, because I think that there was a lot of things going in play, and you know, the responses. It was a very tumultuous time. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
It was.
That was
It sadly it was, and I think when it came to judging, and anytime that dreaded questions asked, who do you think should go home and why? I think that's when all of that kind of, bled out, and that was gut wrenching.
It was bleeding out from the very beginning.
I don't care. I always feel for anyone when they don't at least have one person still kind of be in their corner, because that's hard. And it was hard for me to watch and this is our next person, but Merrie Cherry is just one. I love Merrie Cherry's confessionals. Those have always been so fun. I think Merrie Cherry is quite the character, and I love how they just command screen time, and I love that. But they're a performer, because first off, that first look was to die for. Merrie looked so good, stunning. I loved the I liked it. Well, yeah, but it was the first.
But it was
one.
Elton John.
So
it was Elton John.
Yeah, it was good.
I liked it.
You can it's a good outfit.
Was it top tier? No, yes.
But the exact same outfit was very good on Elton John as well.
Well, then you could
she has a particular aesthetic type that is, I wouldn't say unrefined, because that's like a derogatory term, but it has a raw, organic aspect to it, and kitschy, I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I just someone that we've loved,
that's true. We've loved her from.
We've loved Merrie Cherry from the moment she walked on this show. But I think this episode she kind of showed her ass a little bit, because what she was doing in the workroom and what she was saying in the confessionals didn't match.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing she was saying matched to what was actually being shown on screen. And unfortunately, it looks like she was being a bit of an arsehole, and unnecessarily as well. It wasn't like Sigourney had done something wrong, so Merrie Cherry decided to make life difficult. She was, as soon as it was announced it was Sigourney, it was eye rolling, it was looking to the side, it was making things as difficult as possible from the moment they walked in the room, and then sitting in a confessional saying, oh well, I think this is going to go well, but
I just think those two didn't gel from the get-go, sadly.
No.
And
shame, but
yeah, and it's, and Merrie even said, they're not a sewer, which I get. And so obviously the second look was a look. The slippers, though, that was something new. And the Boulets did call that out. And I was just, I
enjoyed the fact she was wearing slippers.
It was kind of punk rock.
She put on a performance, she really did. And I've loved her since, since she walked in, their haunted, I don't know where that is.
Haunted house.
Yeah, I don't know if that's at the Globe or not, but I've loved her since. So this was unfortunate. The next person that we have is Saint, and that look. It was very I don't know how to describe it, but it seemed almost, I loved the light because the first thing I was starting to think of was some type of Sailor Moon character, even though I don't think that was clearly the purpose, but I still, that's what I was seeing. And I was like, I'm loving this like goth anime and but I mean, that's just what I saw, but I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think that her looks are always good. You know, she gets really good like designers to make them for her. I think what is distracting is like she seems almost like dead in the eyes whenever she's performing, and like not lifeless, but like unengaged. Not all the time, but I think sometimes, and it kind of feels like a little bit like awkward. And like voyeuristic watching it, and I kind of like that, you know. But it's just kind of, you know, distracting a little bit. But I think she's always like on point. She has like the best designers making her these things, and it's amazing. She has great eye.
Yeah, I love that. I did love that. The top. I feel like I've seen it in a music video somewhere though, like a very similar concept. But I feel like the bits that were coming off there, but I don't think it was one headlight. I think the boobs were headlights, and then there was, I think it was like motorbike handles, like the wind, like what's the?
I have no idea what
mirrors.
music video you're talking about.
It sounds like
definitely
Lady Gaga.
Could be.
Oh,
I've definitely seen something like this.
If it's
before.
Lady Gaga and well, if you don't know, Liam, you're getting canceled. I didn't bring up the reference, so I have some type of deniability.
I'm an idiot, so I just don't know.
I probably should have looked into that before I actually said it, shouldn't I? But it's out there now. I'm sure someone will figure it out.
This is going to be on YouTube, MySpace.
Yeah.
Yes.
But going back to MySpace.
Reply with a comment if you know the answer.
And then
I feel awful now.
Our last performer is Jade Jolie.
I did like Jade's. Still waiting for any type of horror from her. Like there's been not much, like no spook whatsoever. But I liked the overall look, and I liked the presentation of the look. And I found her to be a team player within the look of the group, shall we say. And I liked her little gag as well.
I did like the little gag. I had to ask Liam, I was like, was that an actual accident when it came to the not being able to do, and I was like, well, maybe, yeah, because she, you know, brought out the lip gloss, and I love the acting with that, but and the look was nice. But I agree. I know Jade can do some sick looks, and I'm just ready to be like, I want to see you. Like, come on. I know I've seen them. I was like, I just want to see you do like full on horror, you know? I'm ready for it, but.
Yeah. I think she's very nice and crazy, and I love the combination of the two. I think that when it comes to her as like the execution of her looks, I think there's like a lack of subversiveness with like her references to, like, it always seems to be so surface level and literal, and it kind of doesn't feel like it's not avant-garde. It's not I don't know. I don't feel like I know who she is as a monster. I feel like I know who she can like take these references and like put that like costume on to be. Like, and I don't want to like be like, oh, she's not a monster, because people will be like, oh, no. But
I'm just waiting for her to break out of her cage. That's really what I want. And I feel like
got a glimpse of it in the
extermination. Yeah, and
because if you were watching that during that,
Oh, she was having fun.
Oh,
I loved it.
Oh, that was an evil face.
It was.
That was glee.
I will say, I don't know Jade personally. I've met her multiple times at she's come to St. Louis, and then I've been up to Louisville. Incredibly nice, one of the nicest people ever. But I'm just like, get a little. Well, I know she's got that firecracker side because we all remember her and Alyssa, and it was one of my favorite things to watch. But I'm just like,
Back rolls.
yes. I'm like, I know you've got that fire. I'm just like, I'm ready to see her break out of her cave.
I think that also like she had a bad time from that, like that was like when you have an altercation on television, like a lot of people are gonna be on particular sides, and she was on a fight with Alyssa Edwards, who's like exponentially more like renowned and has like more like fandom and like a very strong base. So like she was definitely subject to like ridicule from that, and like she's lived like a very crazy life, and so I think she's trying to like reinvent herself to be a little bit more refined, and I think it's a tact, and really like thinking about it, I think it might be beneficial for her, to not be full She-Hulk.
That's fair. It's a shame though, because I will say though, obviously us as fans, we don't really know them in their real lives, but I will have to say again, she's always come across though, anytime fan interactions or anything I've seen has always been just genuine and sweet. Whereas I can think of times I've met somebody and be like, oh, can I just get a picture? And that's totally, I totally get that. And you could see that sure, you could get some responses, and I totally get it. But, Jade just always seems to be happy to see people that appreciate them. So, but it's been such a long time that I completely forgot about the ridicule that I forgot about some of that.
And she was like she was like kind of problematic queen for a second for being like out of control, and so I think like her being in control, and I feel like there's an intervention now, really is like, I don't know, I think that like, I don't know, just hearing, like if I've had talked with her, and I don't know, I'm getting deep, but she looked great, wonderful drag queen, open up.
So, well, then I guess let's just talk about the two bands. You're fine. We had Zenith, the winners, and Glamrot, sadly the losers. And I mean, Zenith was definitely, they were in sync. They put on a show. They worked well together, and it showed. And yes, I have a huge crush on Dahli, and it's got Hoso in it, so I'm already a little biased. But they did perform better, and even like
the other one was bad.
Yeah, they were.
They just didn't work as a group.
They didn't.
No, not at all.
They spent too much time sadly arguing, and I think in any group environment, you're not gonna succeed, and that can also be hard, just one, if you're the leader, or if you're trying to keep the peace, or if you feel like you're not being heard. So it was kind of sad all around, because they're all very talented, but they just kind of implode. I think the word's imploded. Yeah, imploded on each other.
Imploded.
Or
So
exploded.
oh, that's true. So, well, for the winner, we had Dahli, which I'm happy, because I've been wanting to see them snag a win, because I really do think their craft is really impressive. But I did kind of feel a little bit, because Sigourney's look was it was impressive, but it's not just about the look, it's also about the floor show. And Dahli was, But there's nothing I can say. I mean, that was undeniable. Zenith was the winner. They worked well, and Dahli was the standout. And also, he was really, or they were a really great leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yes, I feel bad for Sigourney that she didn't get that win, because obviously they've called it out and said, if you would worked better as a team, this would have been you. But she was the team leader. Yeah, there was a lot of fighting. If she had decided to go down a different route of being a leader, who knows where it could have ended up. She could have quite easily just went to Merrie Cherry, figure out an outfit, go off and do this.
Mm-hmm. I think it was
like it's. I don't want to say anything bad because I don't want to. Like, it's backfired both ways for her. She tried to be political about it, and obviously it caused arguments. If she'd have went down the other route of just saying, get on with it, then it would have made it even worse. So
I think maybe if she loosened the grip, I think it was she really wanted to be the one in control. She wanted to be the one that was the leader. And then Merrie wanted to feel like she also had some control and autonomy in the situation. And I felt like there wasn't any agreement of like what the control of like what the leadership looked like from Sigourney, in which Merrie had her own autonomy in the situation. And so like in that situation, Merrie was feeling really powerless. And I think that, Sigourney was like, what, not really understanding the power that she had and like not how to use it. And it was like, they were just really like individualistically thinking as opposed to like collectively thinking. And I think Dahli went to it with like a more humble thing. It's like, okay, who wants to tell me what to do as well? Like, let's lead as a group. And I think that's what happened.
That's actually a really nice way to say it too. When it came time to being in the cauldron, they tempers flared and they couldn't get things across to each other.
That's true. We're all pausing because it was so dramatic, and we're trying not to be like, well, that bitch said this and then that bitch said that. But they said it. Don't blame it on the edit.
Yeah.
So, well, with that, then we had the the extermination challenge, which I kind of enjoyed. That looked like
fun.
It looked like a lot of fun. I wasn't sure it's supposed to. I was assuming they were, they got a vote, but it looked like fun.
Yeah,
and
it's no mistake for me.
I did have to say the part of the edit, this was an edit, and I laughed when they were all hitting the buttons, and I'm like, guys, y'all couldn't have hit different buttons every time it was the same button. I'm like, maybe they did. I don't know, but I was just like, that's weird.
They just wanted to get the same person each time.
I don't understand the extermination challenges and like who gets to go home. I don't get it. I didn't get the bull one. I was like, how do you know? Like, is there a timer? Like, I'm just like,
this season's been, which we've said before, but I think Liam pointed out too. I mean, this was filming during COVID, so maybe they had different protocols, but I would have to say that's why, because I asked Liam, I'm like, it feels like this season, these extermination challenges have also been tamer than previous seasons. I mean, I remember when they were sticking those huge needles in season 2.
Yeah, they might bring that back. That's why I won't do All Stars, because they'll try to pierce my wiener or something. No, I need that.
You're getting a Prince Albert. The
Fuck that.
fastest one to get it wins.
Oh my gosh, you're in the UK, you have an actual monarchy there.
Yes.
You used to have a Prince Albert, wow.
I think I should
you.
probably point this out. I don't have a Prince Albert.
Okay, clarification. We need more constant variables in the show, though, as well.
But so Merrie Cherry went home, which maybe I think maybe it was time.
It was so fun.
But I mean, I feel like Merrie Cherry is still going to be going places because they gave great TV, one.
Right.
But I love them in the confessionals. I could seriously just watch an entire season of their confessionals because they were just so engaging. I'm just like, you've said so many things where like, put that on a shirt and sell it.
Yeah, I like the way they talked, and like they just seemed comfortable talking, and like what they had to say wasn't like particularly boring. People complained about them talking a lot, and I was just like, she's fun, you know, it's engaging, and like it doesn't seem forced whenever she talks, you know.
Yeah,
I always had a great time listening to her. So
yeah, I think the workroom stuff and the confessionals, I don't think they're going to be as good for the rest of the season now, because I think Merrie Cherry was the one that was providing the entertainment in that space. But I think when it's come to being on the stage, they haven't lived up to the reputation that they've got from outside of the show, or the reputation that they believe in themselves, in the belief that they've got in themselves when it comes to being off the stage. I think there's been a few, like, I think, to be fair, I think every challenge apart from challenge, well, no, actually, every challenge she's skated by is safe when she should have been in the bottom. She should have been in the bottom episode 1 because that outfit was awful. That stay puff? Puffin man.
Does she
Puff
make
marshmallow?
looks?
No, I don't think she does.
No.
That would make sense, but more sense. But
It
why
would.
she... She's a very funny girl.
Very. And I think that's the problem. She's skated by on the reputation that she's got, where she's entertaining, she's funny, and she's this and that. And she's never been able to bring it to the actual stage. And I think, unfortunately, this time it's better in the ass because she's hasn't been able to get out of it by being funny.
Can you say it again? Bit her in the ass, because when you say it, it sounds like better in the ass. And just one more time for the peanut gallery.
Better in the ass.
Thank you. It is. All right, continue on.
Yeah. So I think like something that probably would have come across in the real world if you're just seeing it for the first time, of basically not giving a shit throughout that full song, like wearing the slippers, turning, not looking where anybody else is, so turning around with that guitar and ripping off Sigourney's cape. Like, these things would have been funny if you were watching a live show and hadn't seen how Merrie had been going on for the previous weeks. But she's kind of been acting like this for the previous weeks as well. Like, look at the way that she went on with Coco Kane. Like, it was kind of a similar attitude. It was like, I'm in charge, we're doing what I'm doing, and screw you kind of thing. So I get why she was there, and I get why she's gone. Like, sad, but it happened.
It bit her in the ass.
Exactly. Yes. bit her in the ass.
So, well,
That's
I get. I think before we wrap up, I do want to ask though, Maxi, how was your time on your season? How did you enjoy it? I mean, I've loved seeing that you've also been having you're staying booked and blessed, so that makes me happy. But
for now. Yeah, no, it's great. It was hella scary. Like, I just met these people and like had to be like immediate friends with them. You know, friendships sometimes take forever to like actually form and like organically. And you know, they were out for blood, and you know, it was really traumatizing. And I think they made a lot of advancements in this season than they had in my season, you know, like being like more equitable with like casting and like deaf people and like judges. And so, you know, I felt like kind of isolated and not worthy, and it was a lot of like weird personalities, like and like who had like the most money and like clout to like get the biggest designers, and like not enough space to talk. And after watching it, I really felt puny and wimpy, and took a lot to like build myself up. And now here I am alive. That's like the real tea. Like that's how I felt. It was cool, and I think like performing is great, and I get to like see a lot of new people and see countries and cities all over, and really get to like have a platform to have dialogue about like the positive and negative aspects of art and the lives of artists, and like being able to make like monumental change because of it has been like really a blessing. And you know, all in all, I'm very thankful for what it has given me.
well, and I mean, I think you as an entertainer is incredibly amazing. You know, seeing you before you were on the show and seeing you after you're on the show, I mean, I think you're constantly evolving. But I think one of the other things that maybe I would think people who follow you would know also is that you were also an activist and you were out there fighting for change. And that's one of the things I also really have enjoyed seeing. You know, like sadly in my eyes, you know, because of COVID, I didn't leave the house. And so when there were those marches and things happening even here, you know, it was nice to still see those people out there doing that. And you were one of them, just, you know, leading charge. And I think you've always been just, to me, I think in that aspect, a positive role model. So I just want to say that as well. So if you don't follow Maxi Glamour, and that's on you and you should, but that's one of, I think, the most amazing things is that you take your platform and you also use it to spread a positive message. So.
I feel like this has been like so emotional. Like
I just wanted to say that, like, that's it. I think it takes a lot for, you know, people to know when they have that platform and to not abuse it. And I think, you know, you're definitely one who wants to see, you know, better in this world. And I hope we get that, honestly. So,
or worse, you know, we can go the other way. It'll be fine.
but I just wanted to say that. And then also wanted to ask as well, before we end, do you have anything you want to plug? Any upcoming shows or where you're performing next?
I'll be in San Francisco tomorrow. I don't know, I put a piece of candy in my mouth for an interview. Yeah, I'm doing reparations at Oasis and with Nikki Jizz, Lucy Stool, Akira Davenport. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. And I'm hosting the Black Friday Ball at the Contemporary Art Museum, which is an art show, a ball with voguing, and like there's $1,000 for the best Vogue performance in St. Louis, and drag. And I'll be hosting a panel about Black queer liberation at the museum. It'll be fun. Yeah, it's free.
Amazing. Well, I will after this, I'll get that info because I'll also put that in the description down below so we can make sure that it's, and I'll also put it up on the screens as well because people should know. I mean, and I'm jealous because I've always wanted to meet Lucy Stool. She seems amazing. So
Perfect human.
needs to come to St. Louis, or I need to see them in, Chicago.
I booked them. Maybe I'll book them again.
I can't believe I missed that. That's on me. That's on me.
She was at the first
Useless.
Black Friday ball, actually.
This is what happened. See, I live in St. Louis, but I really live in the county, and that's also on me. So till next time, I'm trying to remember who our guest is next time. This time, hopefully I won't mess it up. Literally, Maxi, I thought Maxi was this week, and Maxi like, I thought it was next week. I'm like, oh my God, that's on me.
But here I am.
Yep. We're not prepared. We're never prepared. That's why I think people watch us.
Everyone enjoys a mess.
This is true.
Fair.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.